Good morning all. This is Devajyoti Das. I am part of the product success team here in ServiceNow. Today we will look into reclamation request process of enterprise asset management. So, what is a reclamation request in EAM? Reclamation request is a systematic task-based approach to reclaim assets assigned to users. Reclamation request can be raised on unassigned assets as well. Fulfillment of this request necessitates returning of the asset to stockroom and has been re-evaluated for future use or repair or dispose. Request is used by HRs in the organization, the asset managers, managers of the users to return assets in case of employee separation, asset needs repairing, or asset has to be disposed of. Who will be affected by this reclamation request process? Enterprise manager, they are responsible for creating the request. HRs, managers, users can also raise the request on need basis. And enterprise technician, they are responsible for completing the reclamation tasks to fulfill the request. Use cases. HR wants to reclaim assets assigned to a company user. The user may have left the company, offboarding the user. Manager wants to reclaim for his or her reportees. User wants to reclaim asset assigned to himself. Asset manager wants to reclaim some unassigned assets. Important features. An enterprise asset reclaim request is created from Enterprise Asset Lifecycle Catalog. User populates requested by field with HR or asset manager or manager or user. An enterprise asset assigned to a user, which is basically a requested for field in the form, reclaim date, reclaim method are selected for creating the request. Simple and complex assets which are in use, maintenance, or consume state are available to reclaim. Requested for users are filtered based on requested by. HR and asset manager can raise requests for any users. Managers can raise requests only for people reporting to him. User can raise requests only for himself. Requester can either choose to ship, drop off, pick up asset by selecting appropriate reclaim method. We will see a bit more understanding on this method in the next slide. Asset manager can also raise requests to reclaim unassigned assets. This is the reclamation flow where we have stated how the important task comes into picture. However, let's jump into the next slide where a pictorial description of the same flow has been given. A request is getting raised here, which is then creating some reclamation line. Based on the reclaim method chosen during submission of the request, next subsequent task gets generated. So, if reclaim method chosen is ship, the task that gets launched next will be schedule shipment task. When the method is pickup, schedule pickup task will be launched. And for drop-off, schedule drop-off task will be launched. On successful closure of this scheduled task, the next task gets launched, which is the receive task. Receive task means the asset has been received in the stock room. And once this task is closed, the evaluation task is launched. And during the evaluation, the technician decides whether the asset can be reused or has to be repaired or has to be disposed. And that concludes the entire life cycle of this reclamation request. Okay, let's dive into a live demo session to understand it further. We are here in the instance now. An asset manager or HR or manager or even the user will first navigate to the catalog request for creating a reclamation request. He will click here under Service Catalog, Enterprise Asset Lifecycle, and here Reclaim Asset. This is the form of reclaiming asset. Now in the requested by, we have all these options available. Let's use the manager case. You could see only the reporting under this current user, which is basically myself only, will be available here. Same way, if we change it to HR, it will show everybody from the sysuser table. Same is the behavior when asset manager wants to choose any requested for. However, if user, which means this user, I am trying to raise a request for myself, I just need to choose user, and requested for is auto-populated and read-only. So let's switch back to the manager case. Here I have only one reportee under me, test user DD. Now, employee separation is the case where the employee is getting offboarded, has moved out of the company. Check on this option and it will automatically load all the asset available with this user. Alternatively, one can also raise request to reclaim single asset of the requested for user by switching off employee separation rather directly selecting it from here. So let's do single asset reclaim case here. I have to select the asset assigned to requested for. Reclaim date, need to set a reclaim date, and this is where different type of reclaim method is available. Ship, pickup, drop off. We will go with ship method. Let's put some instruction. This is just for information purpose only. Submit, and the request should be raised now. So the request raise is ARR 001017. Now the fulfillment task is with the technician. Now we will go into the technician view. I have already impersonated Arnold, who is a technician. So he will go into the asset management workspace. We are actually in the workspace right now. If you could see enterprise asset workspace here. Arnold will go into inventory. Under more, reclamation requests. And here is our raised request. Now, here a reclamation line got created first. We have to go inside the line and we could see the task here. The details can be verified from the form here. And we will move on to the task execution phase now. Arnold will click open this task and obviously he will put his name here because he is scheduling the shipment. He should be in this group. He has to mention a return stock room. Remember, purpose of this workflow or reclamation request is returning the asset to a stock room where it will be then evaluated for further operation. So let's mention a stock room here. Basically, the asset will be returned to this stock room and the shipping carrier detail. Let's put some number, the tracking number, and the day of shipment. Let's say 28th. So the task has been filled with needed data. So let's close the task and the shipment has started. Once the first task is closed, the stage of the line request has moved to pending received, which basically means next task got launched, which is the receive asset. So let's open the asset receive. Now again, Arnold can mention the person who will be receiving it in the stock room. For the sake of this demo, we will assume Arnold will receive it. So we will straightforward go ahead and fill the same value here. Also, we could see a shipment asset line has been generated. This is the latest edition of Vancouver release, where every shipment is getting tracked separately as a separate shipment item or record in a separate table. It enables better visibility of transactions or details of the shipping asset. Coming back to the receipt task, Arnold is the person who is confirming that the asset has been received in the stock room. We'll close the task and that means he has confirmed, which basically means the next task pending evaluation got launched and the stage updated to pending evaluation. At this point, the asset itself, if we click open the asset, you could see the asset state has been changed to in stock, substate to pending evaluation, and stock room has been changed to the one that we opted. Now going back to the line task, we could see evaluation task has been created. So we have to fulfill this task. Assignment group assigned to our information of relevant person who will be doing the evaluation. Let's keep it with the same person here, which is Arnold. So his group is this and Arnold, and this is where one can identify which is the correct evaluation status of the asset that got just returned. Now, if it is redeployable, asset status will reflect as in stock and available. Needs repair will update the status of the asset to in stock and pending repair. To be disposed will update the status to in stock pending disposal. So let's choose to be disposed and we will close the task. So once the task is closed, the request, since it is consists of only one line item, hence the request is closed. Now that means we have executed all the needed steps for successfully reclaiming the asset. Now if we go into the asset, we could see the substate changed to pending disposal, and that is because we choose to dispose the asset in our final reclamation task. So the asset is updated based on the option that we choose in the evaluation step. So this is the entire life cycle of reclamation request when the reclaim method is shipped. The process is definitely similar for reclaim method pickup and drop off, only the task name that will get launched because of pickup will be scheduled pickup and drop off will be scheduled drop off. Let me see within this instance if I can show you one pickup or drop off example. Let's use a completed one. And okay, let's go for this pickup request. One thing you should note in this pickup request, asset chosen is 2. For 2 assets, 2 line requests has been generated, 1 for each. So let's see how the pickup tasks looks like for the first line request. As said, the schedule pickup has been launched. After that, the receive the evaluate asset. Going back to a drop-off case, this time only single asset, so single line. And looking into the task, you could see the schedule drop-off task, then the receive and the evaluate. So this is how reclaim request of enterprise asset management looks like, and thus we conclude the entire cycle of asset reclamation request of enterprise asset management. Thank you.